Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Test Chamber. We are taking a look at Atlus's Persona 4 Golden on Vita, Sony system that's selling really well. We're playing on one of the 12 units that have been sold in the United States. I'm your host, Andrew Reiner. We have Aram Jabbari from Atlus playing the game for us.
I did not laugh at Reiner's joke, and I do not endorse it in any way.
And Joe Juba.
I laughed.
Yeah, how's it going, man? All right, well, let's jump into this. We're taking a look at a kind of a racy cutscene here. It's fun in a shower, I guess?
A little bit. That was a commercial. The camera zoomed out. We're just starting here with, this is actually the opening animation to Persona 4 Golden. We're introducing the protagonist for the first time. Anyone who played Persona 3 FES on the PS2, you know that you kind of we're introduced to the protagonist in much the same way. This Yu Narukami, as he's been named in Persona 4 Arena, not Charlie Tanoku. He is going out to the countryside with his uncle Dojima, his cousin Nanako. This is the town of Inaba. And we can just kind of see what's going through his head here. But it gives you an idea for the flavor of the game.
He looked like a scholar. I really don't like him. Wears a suit to school. What is his problem?
Maybe it's a cultural thing.
And now, Aram, I was going to ask something here, too, because like this is animated, but on when Persona 3 came to PSP, that one actually didn't have the animated cutscenes, right?
Joe, I love you so much. You're a gentleman and a scholar. You're right. You set that up perfectly. Persona 3 Portable was an amazing PSP adaptation of a huge PS2 game, but it cut out the anime cutscenes. They were replaced with elegantly done static cutscenes, and it also took away a lot of the exploration of environments that we're going to see in just a little bit here. This is our uncle Dojima and our cousin Nanako. They're watching the news. A little bit of there's a disappearance, and
you pick up that cigarette off the ground. It's all bent and gross.
That's kind of just I think that's a common thing in anime. So in just a second here, he's going to get to the train station. He's going to meet his uncle and his cousin, but having some stuff going on. Ooh, deep thought. Flashes of the Velvet Room, a hint of what's to come. Anyone who's unfamiliar with the Persona series, it's a series of role-playing games, and I guess now we have a fighting game where your character and the characters around them are able to summon these inner strength, this kind of supernatural ability. Well, let's go ahead and jump ahead to some gameplay. He's about to step out here. So we jumped ahead a bit. This is a few days into the game, and when I say days, I'm actually referring to the game's calendar system. There's kind of a full calendar system. Every day is broken up into chunks, and here we are at school. We are a high school student. Got a bunch of friends. This is Chie Sadnaka. She's one of our classmates, and so here we are. We have to go save our friend.
Are you dating her?
You actually have the ability to hang out with and get close to a number of different characters. Not at this point. It's a little early. We'd have to be major player. Oh, should we save Yukiko? Oh, today's kind of a bad day for me. So, I'm gonna go buy some toys from the vending machine, like in Shenmue. Here's our other friend Yosuke. He's gonna ask if we should go save Yukiko. I'm okay.
I like it.
Wow, you're kind of a jerk. Really depressing.
You can, and it says after school up in the upper right. So you basically have in each time period you have like a certain. You can't just keep going forever. It's like time advances after you perform like a certain activity.
Once you perform a certain activity, exactly right. So there's just been a murder. Oh, thank you for pushing me back. Let's go ahead and actually go to the practice building. So one of the things that we should be able to do, I'm not 100% sure it's unlocked at this point. This is rule number 1 of game demos. Don't do something you're not sure you can do. But let's see if we can't check out a club. So one of the things that makes Persona 4 Golden completely different from Persona 3 Portable, which was the last adaptation, was sociology classroom. Got our friends here. I'm actually going to go ahead and skip to town. Running around the school is a bit of a waste of time for me. So these environments are all rendered in full 3D. Nothing has been reduced or diminished or taken away from the Persona or the PS2 version of this game.
That's cool.
And we're going to go into the shopping district. Folks who played Persona 4 recognize all of this. You'll notice the game's running at 16:9 widescreen. The textures are sharper. The character art is sharper as well when we go into conversations, portraits, and things like that.
So why is it called Golden?
Golden because it's bigger and better in every way.
I mean, you spend a lot of time talking about how it's the same as the PS2 version. Like, what's distinct about it?
New, you mean for the Vita version, right?
No, I guess it's like you're talking about. Oh, it hasn't been cut down from the PS2 version.
Right.
Et cetera, et
So,
cetera.
well, all of these things that we're doing right now, just running around, interacting with characters, in the Persona 3 Portable on the PSP, this was all static cutscenes, like hub screens. You'd move a cursor around. You lost a lot of this. Now, it was still a great adaptation considering the limitations of the technology, but and I want to point out the load times, by the way. It's faster than it ever was on PS2.
Okay.
So let's go into Shiroku Store real quick. I'm going to tie this into one of the cool things in the Vita version.
Shopping.
Of this game. Old lady Shiroku. Look at her little glasses. I imagine her talking like
Please buy a lot.
the Monsters Inc. Kind of a receptionist. That's her voice in my mind.
You just wanted me to see that lady, and that was
Just wanted to go in there. Well, so Persona is a role-playing game. It's broken up into these daytime sequences where you alternate between, and let's quickly go to the shrine, between being a school kid by day, hanging out with your friends, and then you go into dungeons at night and you fight monsters. Now, this shrine is another example of an area that's been rendered in 3D, wasn't available before, and the calendar system, there's holidays, and there's like a New Year's celebration now that's been added, and everyone comes here, and it's pretty cool. It's like Shenmue, if you played Shenmue. There's a living, breathing world here for you to interact with.
So it could be called Persona 4, now with celebrations.
Okay. I formally retract my offer for you to come work for us. But, let's go home real quick. So a significant addition to Golden, and we're gonna get into combat. We're gonna get into like the basic RPG mechanics. Anyone who's unfamiliar with the JRPG, but we're gonna come home now. No, our Uncle Dojima's not home, so we can sneak out now, and we're gonna go ahead and sneak out. This is all new for Persona 4 Golden. Joe, you played Persona 4, correct?
Yep.
And the music here, it's all new.
Okay.
We go out to town. Our options of where we can go are a little limited. Go to the
You're going back to that store again to look at that old lady.
We're going to go back to that. I like looking at that old lady. There's just something about her. So there's a fishing mini game in Persona 4, and it's been expanded in Persona 4 Golden. When at nighttime, there's different fish, there's new fish, and it's kind of a microcosm for everything being a little deeper, a little richer, as if there wasn't already enough content. So check this out. It's all at night. It's all new. Every character we run into, every bit of dialogue.
Wow.
It's like Reiner.
Yeah, that's exactly how I talk to you guys. Shut up.
Oh, capsule vending machines. Oh, that reminds me of my days in Shenmue.
You're going back in that store.
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Whoa.
It is now Shiroku Pub. Look at her. She dolls up, doesn't she?
That's the same lady.
That's the same lady.
That's why you took us. Weird.
Let's just gaze
No
into
glasses.
her.
She got like laser eyes or
Yeah,
whatever.
She's got contacts in. She's a hottie.
Ugh.
What is this
Joe,
all
what was
about?
that sound? It really comes down to, this is a huge game, over 80 hours, like 100 hours of gameplay, and now it's even more. There's all sorts of little things peppered out throughout the dozens of hours of gameplay that people who never played Persona 4 will never get. Right, but the people who did, it's such a rich experience for them. We're gonna let's jump ahead. Let's go to a dungeon.
All right, so we're checking out a dungeon here now, and or a disco. What is this, Aram?
Oh, we're inside the Midnight Channel, so it's a little late in this this demo for me to. I think people who watch Test Chamber would like to get to the explanation a little sooner than this, but. Persona 4 Golden, the story basically is that there's a girl who's found dead, and there's like another disappearance at the beginning of the game, and here one of our friends has gone missing, and what we find out is that this other world inside the TV, this Teddy character that we meet is actually kind of a resident of this world, and he's not malicious. We find that out, and the world itself isn't malicious, but it's more that there's some force that's bringing people out of the real world and dropping them in here, and it ties into the weather, and basically they turn up dead. And so
This is a statement about society, right? Like we're watching too much TV and we're gonna die. Really deep, Atlus.
you could say that. But it would probably just be complete speculation. So we're gonna go inside the. It's kind of, you could think of it as Yukiko's dungeon, but what you encounter are these shadow selves, these shadow versions of our friends. At first, it ends up being Yosuke, and then spoiler alert, I guess. And then in this case, we're running into Yukiko. and it's still early in the game, so it's not a huge spoiler. But what ends up happening is that you encounter not just an enemy, but really like it's like a dark alter ego. It's like their dark side. You get to know these friends of yours on a deep interpersonal level. Now a lot of these areas in the dungeons are randomly generated.
Why would you put a peach seed in a chest like that?
If I'm remembering correctly too, this isn't a game that like throws you into like a tutorial dungeon like right away, right? Like it's like it takes a little while to start getting to the dungeon.
Like an hour just to get to a safe spot. Yeah, it's certainly. And here we are. This is anyone who's played in JRPG. It's turn-based, menu-driven combat. We are able to see the enemies before we get into it. There's no random battles, and so we have Persona. And here, this is the persona that we have out right now, Jiraiya. We're able to check out each of their abilities and what they do. So, a little bit of wind damage there. And these enemies are actually weak to wind.
Joe cosplays as that guy every once in a while, but just to work. It's kind of weird.
These are the different skills we have. Let's go ahead and do this. So, in a lot of the SMT games, SMT standing for Shin Megami Tensei, a big RPG franchise of ours, we have... this kind of a weakness system when it comes to elemental damage, where your persona or your demons, they're able to do different kinds of special attacks, and certain enemies are weak to those, and if you use the right one, you get another attack. It's very simple, but it's also very necessary once the game gets harder. So, talking about additional stuff in Golden, there's now a very easy and a very hard difficulty mode. Oh, good. We found the level up. We'll come back to that.
Is there any sort of penalty let's say if you play on like easy? Do you get some garbage ending or something then?
Garbage ending. That's how the developers have to talk about that.
Yeah.
You want to have a really nice ending and garbage.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure the answer to that. There are different endings. There's one true ending, and it's really hard. A lot of that stuff kind of culminates at the end where you need to figure this out this mystery. And,
right.
I don't know if the new very easy difficulty or very hard. I don't believe very hard makes any difference. Obviously, if you finish the game very hard, you're going to be able to get every possible thing. Well, that's a good question. I'm sure someone will answer that question for me in the comments.
I asked a good question.
This weird dolphin creature reminds me of something I hate about RPGs, especially like Final Fantasy. Whenever you run into fish creatures, they're just flying. They don't put you underwater. They're not in any kind of water. But it's clearly like a squid or a shark.
It's true.
Well, this is in some nightmare world, though, Reiner, where fish can fly.
It's fine here, but I'm just saying in general for most RPGs.
Well, fish is a
standard.
huge staple of Japanese, but it could just be kind of a celebration of,
just put me in the water.
Yeah, a Magikarp. He just flops around on the ground. We just leveled up, but it's actually our persona levels up independently of our character. So, traditionally JRPGs don't let you apply stat points for your characters like Western RPGs, and that's the case here, where your stat points automatically increase. But there are other aspects of your character, and I'll show those in just a second, that you can actually affect by the decisions you make.
Whoa.
So I'm going to do just a melee attack here so we can swing around to one of the
Rolling
other characters.
Stones.
I love the monster design in this series.
Yeah, it's something else. A lot of these demon designs go back to Kaneko-san, one of the classic SMT artists, and there's some bizarre stuff. My name backwards is actually it's Mara, and Mara is a penis monster, so that's been tough for me to deal with. So one of the things I wanted to show, but I kind of didn't, was that when you switch your persona. I did switch my persona, and I didn't use it intentionally, but you're able to see like what their abilities are, and I have it set to AI for Chie. You actually have the ability to set whether someone is player controlled or AI controlled.
Why would you ever want to leave them AI controlled?
It's a good question, but I actually loved the AI in Persona 3. I felt like it was smart. And, good, this fight continues. I really wanted to go back here and point this out. When you're switching between persona, you can kind of come in really quickly and check out what their abilities are before you equip them. Really cool.
Gotta say it. Flying dolphins kind of freaking me out. Not liking it. Want them in water.
So we're a little over leveled. This is very easy difficulty. You can press the triangle button, which is a rush mode, which basically it's all melee, but you'll just plow through, especially if you know that you can win the fight.
Ooh, shuffle time.
You meet certain requirements in the fight, and you can get into this cool shuffle time, which lets you potentially acquire a new persona. So let's see. One more changed persona. So we can use our... all right, look at that. We got a level 3 devil. Ukobak.
You used to collect them in the first persona. You'd have conversations.
Negotiate, that's right. Yeah. You negotiate with the demons. It's different in Persona 3 and 4. You got this cool card system, but you still go to the Velvet Room, which is kind of this supernatural kind of hub for your abilities, and you're able to fuse Persona and find new ones. Now our character's leveled up here. So has Yosuke's Persona, Jiraiya. Now our protagonist is the only one who can cycle through Persona. The other characters don't have that ability. But yeah, so this kind of sums up the combat. I think it gives people a good feel. Obviously, we have all this exploration. It's very Harry Potter-esque. I mean, by day, you're hanging out with your friends. You're choosing clubs, hobbies, things like that. And really quickly, I'll show the status screen for the characters. You have these the different statistics that you can increase. So if you study at the end of the day, instead of doing something cool like, you know, going out and hanging out with your friends, maybe increasing your courage or your expression or something, you increase your knowledge, for example. And as you increase these, you open up access to new events or there's, for example, the shrine, which is now accessible at night. You can only go in there if your courage is reliable, because apparently it's scary as all get out.
He's well-rounded, but...
It's well-rounded, but not
very
excelling
at anything.
Unremarkable, generally. He's, yeah. But, so that's Persona 4 Golden. I think it kind of gives people a well-rounded view.
And, Aram, I got to ask you one very direct question. It's great this is coming back, but where's Persona 5?
That's great that you asked me that question. That's a great question for our friends in Japan, actually. Because I really don't...
All right, I got a phone right here.
Okay, it's okay. So
international service.
119-792-647-218.
You'll wake them up. They won't mind.
218.
Well, let me use your
113-496... How many more digits? No, so obviously that kind of stuff, you're going to hear that stuff coming out of Japan first and foremost. I think they've been talking about what's next in the horizon, but there's just not a lot of... I mean, everyone's dying for it.
Yeah, people want it. They really want it.
Hopefully, sometime in the near future, we're all sitting down and talking about cool future stuff.
Well, cool. Thanks for bringing this by and showing us this.
Yeah, it's great to see it again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, guys.
And when is it coming out?
You know what? We're just announcing the release date shortly. I'm going to do it here based on when this video goes out. Maybe folks are hearing it for the first time, but it's actually November 20th, 11/20. And there's a premium edition that's just about sold out, so I won't even mention it because it's kind of a dick move if I do. But good luck if you got it. I mean, good job if you got it.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining me, and we'll see you next time on Test Chamber.